in the 6 o'clock position. He's heading to Kusai's base now. He's going to be looking for basically making sure there's no sort of two-gate proxy going on, or any sort of proxy play indefinitely, really. He wants to keep that probe around. Both players want to have an accurate idea of what their opponent is going for. Gas timings are one very important thing, and the chrono boost is also another very important thing. We see Kasai is still a bit ahead.
Yeah, Kasai is a little bit ahead. He does drop down the cybernetics core a second or two before, so it looks like these builds are basically mirrored right now, both on one assimilator and the cybernetics cores, both coming towards the completion. And the first Zealot actually in production for Kasai here, as you can see, as he still sends out his probe to check out what's going on. Might be putting down a proxy pylon.
Wow, actually Zomax getting supply bottled there. That pylon was a little bit late, so he was stuck on 18 supply for a while. We do see that Kasai is 3 supply ahead at the moment at 24. If we look at these builds, it does look as if Kasai is going to be going a 4 a seemingly identical build to Zomax at this point. They're both getting 2 gateways, chrono boosting out their first Stalker and the cybernetics core. I mean, Zomax has got this one Xel'Naga watchtower in the middle of the map, so you can see some early pushings coming out. He will chase away that probe, doesn't want any proxy pylons in his natural going out at all. Kasai also scouting for any sort of proxies in his natural. This probe will see the one in the middle, and this Stalker will catch up and take that down. Meanwhile, a third gateway coming down for Kasai, and Zomax grabbing his second gas, constantly boosting out these 2 Stalkers. It does look as if he is going for the 3 Stalker Robo build, relying on those 3 Stalkers to deny any sort of 4-gate push. But it seems like Kasai is doing something very, very similar. However, he isn't going for the 3 Stalker opener. However, he has got 3 gateways now, and Warp Gate has just finished for Kasai, and nearly finished now for Zomax. About 10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, interesting. Very similar builds, but it looks like in the production tab, we do have Twilight Council being researched, or being constructed for Kasai, and do not see any sign of that yet, except as you might mention that it does look like he was doing the 3 Stalker Robo, and the robotics facility is now being built, though a few more Stalkers than 3.
Yep, we do see that robotics bay about 40% complete at the moment. His third gateway has just finished for Zomax, but that Twilight Council is finishing up now. We will be able to chase away that Stalker out of his natural. However, Kasai is now behind in supply. Zomax has not cut any probes. He's now at 41 supply, and Kasai is at 32.
Proxy pylon is scouted there, right outside of Kasai's base, as the one probe had seen it. And Zealot by Zomax is still kind of chasing it a little bit.
These are very, very tight timings, though. He needs that blink out very, very quickly. Zomax is moving out with this large force of Stalkers. He does have 7 Stalkers, and Kasai only has, well, he's just got in more. He does have 8 now. And Zomax is really going to have to rely on some Immortals at this point, or some higher tech, to be able to defeat these Blink Stalkers. However, it seems he is going straight for Robotics Bay. So a very early Colossi off 1 base at this point. He is going to try and break down those rocks to get the Xel'Naga Watchtower. He does want that vision. An Observer, however, is on the field. He can definitely check for any sort of Dark Templar rushes or anything like that. They're not getting an Immortal at this point.
Now, Kasai actually takes out that pylon of Zomax's that was located right outside his base there. He is now also working on destroying that destructible rocks so that he could gain access to that watchtower. And as you can see, all the way down at the bottom 6 o'clock position, there is first sign of an expansion there, as Kasai is building down, as I said, the 6 o'clock position. So right now, that is definitely not known by Zomax at this stage in the game, and maybe as he has an observer out maybe you'll get your glimpse of that at some point. But it looks like there's going to be a push here by Kusai as Zomax forced to retreat these Stalkers back. And we do have an Immortal up there, which will come in handy, as well as a Sentry. So a little bit of engagement there.
Nice micro from both players there, not losing any units. However, Kusai's expansion is now complete. So Kusai can hold the middle of the map for a while. Zomax is going to need more robo units. He does have a Colossus on the way out. He is getting a Forge at this point and is chrono boosting out that Colossus. He desperately wants it out and is currently supply blocked a bit there. Interesting to see if Zomax does try and make some sort of a push now. You know, he does have the robo advantage, but he is, you know, losing that specific timing advantage while he is on 2 bases. And the problem with this is with ninja expansions, it really does screw with your head, because if you go and expand and he hasn't, then you'll lose. So you kind of have to make a gamble if you can't find it. Just like if Zomax hasn't still seen it with the Observer, however, has seen the entire of his base at this point.
Oh, it's just as you say that, it looks like Zomax's Observer was rallied around and is just going over that expansion there, which is now pretty saturated. Has both assimilators with 3 probes on them, and it looks like now Zomax is going to make a little bit of a push here. Will encounter at the Watchtower outside of his base. Colossi, though, coming in. Stalkers blink around, though, and that Colossi is going down. So Blink Stalkers definitely working to the advantage. A couple, though, of Zomax's Zealots are moving down to that expansion down there, and we have a GG, though.
That's right. It looks like a GG was called from Zomax. Looks like Kusai takes the win and pushes forward in this tournament.
You guys want to join in on me?
Fantastic. I'll save you guys the win video. Since it was a mirror match, I'm going to try not to play those so much during the mirrors. You guys can obviously tell who won that game, that it was a Protoss victory. Anyways, joining in on you, Jim. Alright, so it looks like the countdown has begun. Legit BMW against Hannibal here. Alright everybody, welcome to IMBA TV, where everything is in balance. I am MC Duffs, and yes, with me is Jim Raynor. Roll your eyes, everybody. And connected, these two are going to be bringing you this next game. It's going to be Legit BMW fighting Hannibal. It's going to be a PvT on Xel'Naga Caverns. I know I am excited. This is the EU CraftCup Lite, number 49. Getting up there, man. Getting up there for sure. And we've got some more, just non-stop action today. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And here we go. We're all loaded up. We see Legit BMW spawning at the top of Xel'Naga Caverns as the red Protoss. And down here at the bottom, we've got Hannibal as the blue Terran. So that being said, Jim, you got the camera. You guys take it away.
Alrighty. Well, as we know the positions now of both players, probably going to have to see the early scout in this, as only 2 spawning positions on this map. They will know exactly where to go, but build order by their opponent is going to be crucial in taking this.
One thing I'd like to note, Legit BMW is German. People might think he's British based on his name, but in fact he is German. He's a diamond player with about 3,100 ratings points. We don't know anything about Hannibal, so we can't really tell you much about him. Now, notice that Hannibal is building his supply depot in the back of his main base, and Legit BMW warped a pylon in right beside his nexus, so we're probably going to see some pretty straightforward play, at least for the first 3 minutes or so. Connected, what do you think we might see?
Well, no need, obviously, to do any sort of wall or soft wall in this thing. You can see the SCV is coming into Legit's base to try to see if there's anything abnormal going on here. Nothing, you know.
Yeah, he's going to note a really standard build: one pylon, one gateway, one assimilator. So obviously, there's no cheese proxy build by Protoss in effect, and Protos's scouting probe is going to enter the Terran main base, and actually it won't. It sits at the bottom of the ramp. Finally moving forward. So now both players have got to be really comfortable at this stage. They've seen every building that their opponent has built, and it looks like we've got an observer that's lagging out, and I'd rather have him lag out right now, and I think he should probably leave.
As he does.
Good. Nice manners. Now, I was just going to say, both players have got to be 100% comfortable. They've seen every building of their opponent. So 3 minutes into the game, it's looking pretty standard. Why don't you take it from here, Connected?
Well, one thing I did notice in the chat a little bit while you were talking is that Legit actually thought Hannibal was a toss until he saw that SCV come in his base. So his mind state probably going into this a little first was, okay, it's a mirror match here. And, you know, obviously seeing that SCV come in decides, has to quickly think and react now and just, you know, usually for a player to change up like right in the middle of the game, it could put a little stutter in your play for a second.
Now, notice Hannibal did an attack move with his Marine, and it ran right past the scouting probe, and that probe is going to thank that, is going to survive due to that error by Hannibal. Hannibal's first add-on to the barracks after only one Marine is a tech lab. The second fighting unit out of that barracks is going to be a Marauder, and that Marauder, well, concussion shell upgrade is going down as we speak. First fighting unit out of the gateway for a Legit BMW is a Zealot, and the second fighting unit is going to be a Stalker. A second gateway is also being built, being warped in by Legit BMW, and it looks like Legit BMW wants to counter scout this SCV, but it's going to be unsuccessful. The SCV will get in. The SCV does manage to spot every Protoss building. Notice Legit BMW is sitting at 41 energy, and he's not chrono boosting in probes. So, I don't know, economy doesn't seem to be a thing of urgency at this point for our Protoss player.
Yeah, it's crossing the 5-minute mark. You know, just now starting to see a little bit of the chron boost for those probes, but already a couple Stalkers and a Zealot out, with third Stalker now coming out. Now it looks like he Legit might actually make a little bit of a move here and move across the map and see if he could do anything, as it looks like a scan has been thrown down on the base of Legit's probably
main base. And he's seeing nothing in the base, so he's got to know, you know what, Terran's got to be ready for it. You know, got to be ready for some kind of an attack. And the thing is, we've got 3 Terran barracks, one with a tech lab, one with a reactor. I don't see Hannibal being harmed in any way by these 3 Stalkers. The only good thing I'll say is Legit BMW does control both watchtowers and has expanded.
So he'll know if there's any Marine Marauders coming his way. He'll also be able to encounter them with the 3 Stalkers in the middle of the map. So right now, safely Legit is getting that expansion pylon at the base of his ramp. Be good to quickly warp in some units in the event of a push by Hannibal.
Notice Hannibal is getting a Ghost Academy as well. Now 2 barracks have a tech lab now. Stim pack upgrade is about halfway completed on one of the tech labs. The other tech lab has no upgrade at all. Concussion shells have completed. And if we take a look at the unit counting station at this point, it is 30 probes to 24 SCVs, 5 Marauders and 3 Marines on one army, 1 Zealot, 6 Stalkers in the other army. Interesting that we had 2 gateways and then a robotics facility. That's a pretty quick tech up. You know, usually if you're expanding, I usually see 3 or 4 gateways and a few sentries as a defense, but we're not seeing that from Legit BMW. And Legit BMW is unaware of Hannibal's Ghost Academy at the top of his
tucked away up there, yeah.
Yep, and here we're moving forward here. Here comes Hannibal, then